Hey guys, so today you're going to learn about simplifying radicals. This is a fairly easy process, and once you get the hang of it, you're going to have no problem at all. So basically, simplifying a radical is breaking down a radical and factoring out the perfect squares. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the idea of prime factorization, which you guys practiced the other day, and then take it one step farther. If you notice, I have my prime numbers up to 23 written on the top of my board. You should have the same on your paper. Normally, you're not going to use a prime number bigger than 23 unless your book is a jerk or your teacher wants to be a jerk. So can there be cases when you do need it? Yes, but are you going to see it in my room? No. So to break down a radical, you're going to do prime factorization. What times what is 18? I'm going to use 3 and 6. You say to yourself, are either of these prime? 3 is, so circle it. You're done with this side. Circling just signifies you're done. 6 breaks down to 2 times 3. They're both prime, so circle. If you notice, all your ends now have circles. So this is the next step. You're going to draw a large radical, and you're going to list your prime factors from least to greatest, smallest to biggest, and make sure you get all of them. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to circle your pairs. The reason we're circling pairs is because we're dealing with square roots. Technically, there's a 2 here, so we're going to circle pairs of 2. Your pair has to be the same number, so you can't circle a 2 and a 3. It has to be the 2 3s. So you say to yourself, 3 times 3 is 9. The square root of 9 is 3. That comes to the outside because once you take a square root of a number, the square root is no longer over the number. If you notice, we have a 3 on the outside and we have a 2 left on the inside. We do not have to write this little 2 because it's assumed it's already there, which you learned from your video. If we did this correctly, that should be our simplified radical. So easy way to check it, take your calculator, type in your first number, which is the square root of 18. If you notice, we get a long irrational number. We know it's irrational because it's non-repeating. Now type in your second radical. You should get the same number if you did it correctly. If you did it wrong, you'll get different numbers. So we know we did it correctly. But now you might say, well, how come I had to use 3 and 6? I didn't want to use 3 and 6. Well, congratulations, you can get the same answer using 9 and 2. It doesn't matter what you use as long as you actually do the prime factorization right. Because in the end, the numbers will always end up the same. All right, so we're going to do one more problem together, and then you're going to try 2 on your own. So we're going to do the square root of 96. So you might say to yourself, oh man, I know 96 is divisible by 12, but I don't remember the other number. Well, take your calculator, divide 96 by 12, and you see that you get 8. So your 2 factors are 8 and 12. Are either of those prime? Nope, so we got to keep going. What times what is 8? 2 times 4. 2 is prime, so circle it. We got to break down 4. What times what is 4? 2 times 2. Circle your primes. We can't go to the radical yet because we still have an uncircled number, which just means we're not done. What times what is 12? 3 and 4. Are either of those prime? 3 is prime. 4 breaks down to 2 and 2, which we know are prime. So now, draw your large radical. We have 5 2s and a 3. Since this is a square root, we're going to circle pairs. Remember, they have to be the same number. So I have a pair of 2's, a pair of 2's. I cannot circle this because it is not a pair. 2 times 2 is 4. The square root of 4 is 2. Bring it out. 2 times 2 is 4. The square root of 4 is 2. Notice how I still have my multiplication symbol. So now 2 times 2 goes to 4. When you have numbers left under the radical, you just re-multiply them. 2 times 3 is 6. If we did this correctly, that should be our simplified radical. So let's check it in the calculator. We have the square root of 96 and 4 root 6. I know we are good. So now you're going to try 2 problems on your own. The next video is going to have both the problems done out, so you can check your answers, or if you're stuck, you can get a hint. If you're stuck, I recommend listening for like 10 or 15 seconds, pausing it, and trying it on your own. I'm going to have you do the square root of 72 and the square root of 24. Tune in to the next video to check your answer.